Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another layout using another cut file. I'm really enjoying using cut files again. I had stopped for a little while and now I'm back on this train because I love it. And it doesn't help that these are super cute and super easy to back. So I'm using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Happiness Collection. And this cut file that I cut out of white cardstock, this is the Basil cardstock in Marshmallow. And this cut file is from Lacey Ann Designs. I will link it in the description box below. It was a free cut file, so if you're into cut files and want this really cute one, head on over. The link is in the description box, like I mentioned. So after cutting it in white cardstock, I am just going over the edges and adding some wet glue using some Scotch Quick Dry in my fine line bottle. And I'm going to glue that down first before I back it, because actually technically it's not even backing, because what I did is I cut this twice. So I deconstructed this cut file and I took the inner pieces and I recut them out of the cardstock that I wanted to use. And in this case it was the CVS Happiness Collection, and it's that beautiful floral paper. It's like a watercolor, but I totally forgot to write down what that sheet of paper was called. And now I'm just going to glue everything back together. So it's super easy. You don't need to fuss with it, and you don't need to like actually back things and trace around things. This is the easiest way I found to do this kind of stuff. Now, if you like to sit and do that kind of stuff, then by all means, go and do it. But I don't, especially when I have screaming kids in the background, or someone needs my attention. I need to get things done. So doing all the prep work with my Silhouette Cameo and the Silhouette Studio really helps me a lot in doing that. And so I'm just filling in the letters. This layout came together super easily because the bulk of the work is done with the Cameo, so like the big, huge title. And these pieces just fit perfectly inside because it's actually from the cut file. Super easy, right? Like, look how fast I did that. I didn't have to trace anything. Do you know usually when I back a cut file, it takes me forever because first I have to make 13 mistakes because I traced it on the wrong side of the paper and then I didn't leave enough room. And so this was super easy for me to do because the Cameo did the work, my computer did the work. Now I'm taking my photo, and this is of my baby and I. This is my big girl, my big meatball. And we were fishing this past summer, and where we went fishing, it's kind of under a bridge, kind of like it's a big huge park, but it had like this bridge area where we took up residence. We set up our lawn chairs there and threw our rods in the water, and it was like perfect. My dad brought a barbecue and made the most delicious sausages, and it was just a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed myself, and I was just sitting there with my girl, and she's like, "Mom, let's take some pictures," and that's what we did. And there was this graffiti wall in the background. Now you can't see too much of it, but it was a great like grungy kind of element to add, and I just loved it. So my photo here, I'm matting with papers from the 6x6 paper pad. And I'm just kind of being haphazard about it. Like, nothing has to be exact and precise. I know it looks like I do a lot of that, but like, I mean, a centimeter here, or a millimeter here, it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as they layer properly, that's all I'm happy about. That's all I really care about. I also added some of that wood grain paper. I know it doesn't really translate on screen very well, but it is wood grain paper, and it's one of my faves from the collection because it's like just the right shade of brown. I'm not a huge fan of brown, and so I omit it from my everyday life. And so in this case, it's like perfect. So I'm taking the die cut ephemera, and I'm going through and I'm shopping the pieces and deciding what works for me and what doesn't work. Now I know I want this embellishment, the embellishment clusters to be on the right hand side of the photo, and it's going to be pretty heavy and predominant on that side with a few elements, around the rest of the layout. Here I'm just taking my hot glue gun and some foam dimensionals and popping up the photo. It's what I do. And especially since the title is so flat and non-dimensional, I really wanted to make sure that there was some sort of dimension. Now the florals from this collection are absolutely divine. They are my favorite on the planet. I love all of CVS's collections, and I will continue to buy their goods. I will continue to buy what Zoe sells as far as mainly the girl collections, because I don't have boys. I find it a little more difficult for me to use. I don't get a lot of use out of them, but the regular, you know, collections, I'm all on that. Like, I buy multiples of things because I love it and I never want to run out. And so I'm taking the florals and I'm adding a heavier cluster there on the right hand side. And I love these tassels too. I didn't think I'd ever use them, to be honest, because for me, I'm a little bit of an awkward scrapper and I know what I like. And I know how to use the pieces that I use. But these tassels were so pretty, and I thought, you know, why not? Just add them. You know, worst case scenario, it doesn't work. But in this case, it totally works. I think you still get the gist of what the title says, and I love the coloring of it. Like, hello, they're so beautiful. Now here's where I contemplate putting more florals on the left-hand side, but I opt not to, because I wanted all the focus to be on the right-hand side. I thought about adding another like little secondary title, but I decided not to do that as well. Now I'm going to pop up this little banner flag here that says my happiness. And that little girl in the picture definitely is my happiness. That's the one that made me a mama. Just adding more doodads, more tags. You know, you guys know that I add things as I go along, not necessarily in my initial layers, but I really do like to tuck things in behind other things and, you know, layer different pieces like tags and tabs and, you know, other larger ephemera pieces. These butterflies from the collection are also one of my fave things. Actually, this all of Coco Vanilla Studio, like, let's be honest here, like, I'm a little biased when it comes to them. I did design for them for a good period of time, and so, you know, it was phenomenal to design for a company that I actually love their work. So Zoe has a forever customer in me, even though I do not design for them any longer. Yeah, so I'm deciding to use those butterflies. So 2 of them make the cut. That navy blue one, which I love, love, love. It's like, it's so detailed. Like, they're just the coloring and the variation of color is just my fave. And that multicolored, like, pinkish orange one, very pretty as well. These hearts are from the collection as well, from the die cuts. And I'm just going through and adding a little bit more greenery to the cluster. I think about here adding those enamel buttons. Actually, they're called flare buttons. I do not end up going that route. And I add those tiny word stickers there that say bright and beautiful and sweet memories. Now I'm going to take some gold metallic thread. I don't know why I have to say metallic. It's gold thread. I guess gold could be a color without being metallic, right? This one here is the metallic version of it. And I'm just going to tuck it there at the bottom left-hand side of the photograph. I use my scissor. I also end up adding some glue because I don't want it to go anywhere. Even though it is tucked underneath, you know, I don't want it to move. I don't want it to shift. I don't want it to come out into the page protector and I find it at the bottom. Sometimes for me, I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but my thread ends don't want to sit still, and so they go all wonky and crazy, and then I have to fiddle with things, and then sometimes I have to take the whole thing apart and just redo it. I don't know if that happens to anyone else. Let me know if it does. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe the way I wind my thread. Maybe. Who knows? Now I'm going in with the infamous Heidi Swapp Color Shine in gold. This is my absolute favorite. I say favorite a lot, right? Well, you know what, guys? I use the things that I love, and that's the truth of it. I don't use things that I am, you know, not fond of, or because I'm on a design team or whatnot. I'm using the things that I genuinely love. And, you know, don't feel pressured to use things because everyone else is using them. That's, you know, they're your albums. When you look back, you know, you should be able to enjoy your photographs because you made them and because you love them. And you love the things that you worked with. Anyway, guys, I thank you so much for stopping by today. All my love to you guys. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please do so, and you can consider giving me a like. I would sincerely appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video, which will be up very soon. Take care, guys. Ciao.